This is called the 5 pair of shoes. I need everyone's full attention on this. This is well written. And our ears deserve to hear this. Our next generation needs to understand the impact that they have. But you'll get the message. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Once upon a rhyme in the land of Nod, the continent of Rubasaland, as he played in the sugar cane fields of Afrolonia, Uhuru was stolen. Uhuru, which in his native tongue means freedom. He was chained to the bottom of a rickety wooden ship named Casa del Rosa, with 499 other captives, forced to cross the Sea of Blood. During the passage, many died in the depths of despair. Some jumped into the Sea of Blood, others died in desperately unfair fight with their captors who carried magic weapons that could freeze a man's brains in seconds. Uhuru survived the passage, but when they landed, he was sold to an evil planter in Westlandia. The evil planter lived in a big white house and owned 400 acres of black cotton fields. Black cotton, like black wool, was rare. It was extremely coveted because it could be spun to make valuable black cloth, and many considered this black cloth magical. Upon arrival, Uhuru was whipped within 5 inches of his life as part of his initiation into slavery. Next, he was taken to a cave dwelling tucked in the side of a mystic mountain where dwelled an evil cobbler of Miscandor. "Make shoes for my slave," ordered this evil planter, so that he will never be able to run away from my plantation or stray from what I will teach him. "Ah, I have a pair just his size. These shoes are called sagins," said the evil cobbler. "I will screw them into his feet, and he will never be able to move more than 600 feet beyond the boundaries of the plantation. What do you call this, slave?" "I will call him idiot," the planter said, which is Greek for nigger. Both the evil planter and evil cobbler laughed. "I am Uhuru," interrupted the angry young man, "which means freedom." Upon hearing the pride in his voice, they beat him within 4 inches of his life. Then the sagins were screwed into his feet. Sagins are for niggers. The evil cobbler spewed and with evil laughter. At this point, Uhuru felt defeated. As time went by, and as he wore the sagins, his mind began to change. He began to hate himself and his condition. Nevertheless, he resolved to fight for his freedom by any means possible. So night after night, he would gaze at the shoes on his feet and think about how he could free himself from them. Finally, one night, he figured it out. And with all the strength he could muster, he cut away the shoes and escaped the plantation. However, the area around the plantation was mined with anti-escaped thorns that tore his bare feet with each step, so he needed help. Somehow he made it to Evil Mountain, where he seized the evil cobbler in his sleep. He bound him by his feet and rained blows upon his back with a birch tree stick. "Stop! Do not hit me again," cried the evil cobbler. "I will do whatever you want." "Make me some freedom shoes," Uhuru demanded firmly. "Right away," cried the evil cobbler. immediately making the shoes from yellow cow skin and called them colored shoes. Uhuru put on his colored shoes and took flight. He found his way out of the area into a town called Crowsville. There he saw signs that read whites only and coloreds only everywhere. He walked down the street and stopped in front of a restaurant that had a sign saying, "Only white people here, nigga, don't you dare." What is a nigger? He wondered. He remembered being called that daily by the evil planter. As he stood in front of the restaurant from which sumptuous smells filled the air, he casted a shadow upon the door. Suddenly, from every direction, armed guards and the honky-tonk police aggressively approached him and beat him within 3 inches of his life. This time, the evil planter confined Uhuru to the house so he can watch him closely. Nevertheless, after some time, Uhuru managed to escape again. He trekked back to the evil mountain to confront the evil cobbler, seized his red beard, demanded, "Make me some freedom shoes! And don't you even think about tricking me." "Right away," shuddered the evil cobbler, as he gave Uhuru the 3rd pair of shoes to walk in, which were called Negroes. The evil cobbler said, "You will be comfortable in your new identity." Uhuru slipped into the shoes and left Evil Mountain with deliberate and determined speed. Suddenly, his thinking began to change. This time, when he arrived in Crowsville, he saw black and brown people gathered together in front of the white restaurant, chanting, "We shall overcome." Within minutes, though, the honky-tonk police, armed guards, descended upon the black and brown people with dogs, hoses, thick hickory sticks. They broke bones and savagely slashed black and brown skins. Uhuru was amongst them. He suffered the same brutality as the others who gathered. They were placed in prisons called La Selva. Despite the imprisonment, the ever-clever Uhuru escaped through 7 gates and trekked back to the evil cobbler's lair, hidden in the cave of the evil mountain. When he arrived, he caught the evil cobbler trying to escape. Uhuru grabbed him and hung him upside down and yelled, "You will deceive me no longer! I will know where the power lies. It lies within shoes and their soles. Where is your black leather that will match my skin?" he demanded. "For I am black like the skin of the sun, and the light inside of me must be brighter than 1,000 nights filled with stars. My spirit walks on stars more numerous than all the grains of sand on this earth. If the little grains of sand are free to travel in the wind, then I must be a free man in this world. You, evil cobbler, and your friend, the evil planter, will never deny me the discovery of my dignity and distinction." The now trembling evil cobbler refused to speak. Uhuru began to strike the evil cobbler and tear off his red shoes. "No, no, no, no! You will destroy my power! It's over there. It's under the anvil," the thunder reluctantly confessed. Uhuru forcibly removed the evil cobbler's shoes, and the cobbler, who was already a midget, began to shrink and shrink until he was the size of a medicine ball. Suddenly, the spear-shaped evil cobbler was transformed into a small white snake. Uhuru seized the snake by its hideous head, stuffed it into a red clay pot, covered the pot with 3 clay covers, then buried it beneath a plot of barren, bitter earth where no one would find it. "May you be bound here for 1,000 years, Uhuru proclaimed, with a sense of relief and empowerment. Now that Uhuru was given this liberating material, he began making pairs of black shoes with black leather. Then he tried on the first pair of the black shoes that he made. He instantly felt this great strength flowing through his body, and overwhelming sense of pride through his entire being. With the intention of helping others, he worked tirelessly to make 30 pairs of black shoes in as many days. Then one night, he traveled back to the old plantation with the 30 pairs of shoes, these powerful black shoes. He slipped into their living quarters and excitedly announced, "Put on these black shoes and feel the freedom you've never known." As soon as the enslaved descendants put on their black shoes, they began to chant, "What time is it? It is time for black power." And from that day forward, they knew that black lives would matter. The chants of the people were so loud and powerful, it could be heard as far as the big white house. This sudden acceptance of empowerment caused fear to explode in the heart of the evil planter. He sent an overseer to town to alert the honky-tonk police, and as soon as the police arrived, their brain-freezing ice guns loaded. "Take off those powerful black shoes," they yelled, "or we will freeze your brains with misinformation, shoot you full of bullets, and beat you within an inch of your lives." "No way," replied the ex-slaves. "Now is the hour of black power. We know who you are and what you have stolen from us." You who will grab the evil planter and demanded, "Drop your freeze weapons or the evil planter suffers." Before the honky-tonk police could respond, the evil planter desperately yelled, "You fools, do whatever he says. Remember, my black cotton pays your salaries." The honky-tonk police complied and immediately dropped their weapons. You then ordered, "All of you, take off your shoes." The evil planter nervously interjected, "Just do what he says." Although confused, they all promptly and reluctantly complied and began to shiver. Uhuru replied, "You may keep your illusion. Uhuru proudly proclaimed to the recently liberated people, "There's no need to fear, my brothers and sisters, for now our oppressors are powerless without their shoes of oppression." Uhuru then turned to remove the evil planter's shoes. The evil planter pleaded, "Please, please don't take my shoes. You will take away all of my dignity and power." He did say, "You may keep your illusion of dignity and power as long as you stay in that white house and never leave. You are confined for the rest of your days to the illusion that you have created." The evil planter sadly promised. I promise. Yeah, that don't be real, right? I promise. "I will never leave," Uhuru replied. "Rest assured, we will be watching over you and our freedom." If the tongues of shoes could speak, they will warn the foolish and reprise the wisdom of the wise. That is written by Dr. John Satchmo. Now that is, thank you.
That's part one of the story.
This, you guys have to get the book. You have to get the book, because if you felt something in just this piece, or the piece that I did before, I mean, you gotta read this book. It's a must read. Christmas is coming. Okay, no, I'm just joking. Listen, we need to, we gotta do this. Y'all already know. But thank you.
Thank you. Let's hear it for Lotuz.